Hi guys, Uncle Mike here, old porch dog. Uh, that's my new toy that I've been playing with. When I was doing my front porch, getting the ramp built, I had some money left over because it didn't cost as much as we were expecting. With this COVID thing, everybody's prices have gone skyrocketing, and it went from being $650 to around $2,400 to build that ramp. The guy that was working on it came up with an idea. He had a buddy that had some wood laying around, and he was going to build a room and never did, so we offered him what he paid for the wood, and he offered it to us for even less. So we paid, I think, $600 for all the wood to build that ramp, and which is fantastic. So I had money left over, and I was talking to one of the guys about buying a plasma cutter, and he says, you know, these new inverter plasma cutters will do more than just plasma cut. He says the box, once you have the box, he says, all the accessories in it, you can get one that will do TIG welding, arc welding. You can even get them to do MIG welding, all in the same box. Well, I've been looking at TIG welders, and I think the cheapest one that I was looking at was about $700. He said, no, you can get one that will do a lot less than that, or do some TIG welding for a lot less than that. So $250 for a plasma cutter was the cheapest I could find on Amazon. $295 will do TIG welding, arc welding, and plasma cutting. Now these cables on here have been replaced. I replaced them with some heavy duty cables, and I replaced the welding clamp down here, and also the trip myself. Okay, the ground clamp here been replaced, because what they gave me was this cheap stuff here. Really skinny cables, I think 5 or 6 feet, and this clamp is loose and has a couple bare spots here to shock the piss out of you. And this has been crushed from the factory. When they tried to crimp over this pin, they bit the shit out of it. So that was replaced. I think it was $15 for each clamp, and then the cables I had. And I got, I don't know, 12-foot cables now or something like that. The plasma cutter is supposed to do 50 amps plasma cutting, and that's the torch there. It has a little safety thing on here, so you got to put that down and then push the trigger. But being that it's supposed to be 50 amps, they said it will do 1/2-inch steel. I was doing 1/4-inch steel and was having problems. So I wouldn't bet your life on doing 1/2 inch. I haven't tried it yet, but I was burning the piss out of myself trying to do 1/4 inch. Sparks flying back at me and all over the place. The TIG welder and the other torch will do, or stick welder will do 200 amps or up to 200 amps. It does not have a foot control, and you cannot put a foot control on it. It's on or off, on or off. There is no adjusting the amperage while you're going. Bummer. It will not do aluminum because there's no AC feature on this one. Bummer. I was kind of hoping for that. Anyway, you got post flow over here. You got your amperage on this side, and then you can choose between cutting, arc welding, or TIG welding. This is your meter here for your plasma cutting, and it has a range here for how much air you should have, or air pressure you should have, and it's not in American poundage. It's in some beats the hell out of me what it is. But it does say air pressure and has a range here, so as long as you're setting it up there somewhere, you're doing pretty good. This one does 110 volts input or 220 input, which is one thing that I wanted. And let's see, what else do I have on there? Oh, back here, let's see if I can get back here. It comes with your flow meter. I now have two of those because I had bought one because it didn't say that it came with one. So when it came with one, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I already have one that I opened up the box on. So anyway, it comes out of your flow meter, comes through. You got to put an air chuck in there if you want to use this thing and be convenient about it. You can hook up an air chuck there, and then your gas is going to come around, up, and go into your regulator that you regulate for your air pressure on your plasma cutter. If you're well, right now it's hooked up for TIG welding because it's got it hooked up for gas. So I can unhook that, put it onto an air hose or from the gas bottle. And one of the things that I was having problems with, well, I was having problems with two things. I was trying to learn how to weld aluminum because I got a lot of aluminum over here that I could, wanted to learn how to weld on. Well, can't weld aluminum without the AC feature because it cleans and then it welds, cleans, welds, cleans, weld. Well, if you don't have anything to clean it with, it's not going to weld. It just, balls up on it. So I thought, well, I'll just screw that idea and I'll start learning how to do welding steel. And I couldn't weld steel with it. And I thought, good God, man, I'm a better welder than this. I should be able to learn how to weld. I've been welding with a stick welder over there, MIG welder. I learned on gas. I put that away a long time ago. But I couldn't weld. I called the guy up that talked me into buying this one and said, hey, what am I doing wrong? Well, he came over and he fires it up and he said, sparks flying everywhere, and the weld looked like crap. And he goes, Mike, you can't steal the bottle off your MIG welder and put it over here on your TIG welder. The gas is different. MIG welders have argon and 25% CO2. CO2 is a reactive gas, which on your TIG welder, you need to have 100% argon, inert gas, in order to weld with it. It's like, hey, I didn't steal the bottle off here. I went over, told the guys what I wanted, TIG welding gas, argon, and he reached back there, grabbed me a bottle, charged me for it, and I came home and hooked it up. So I already burnt through half of the damn tank trying to figure out how to weld. Called them back up, and he says, it was my fault. Bring it back over. I said, well, I'm going to owe you some money for the extra gas I burned up. He said, no, my fault. He said, bring it back. You don't say anything, I won't say anything. So I'm not going to say which company I got my gas from, but yeah, that was a mistake. Now I can weld. Anyway, I modified my cart and put some extra clamps on, or racks on there for hanging my hoses. Got one back there for that cable back there. Made me some cup holders for mounting my pins, throwing my pins in there. Both machines got one of those now. Oh yeah, this is nice. Made me a bracket here for my little bug here. If you're going to weld, invest $40 and buy one of these. This little booger is just sweet as can be. Everybody's gone through those flat discs. $7 a flat disc to bevel your edges so you can weld. This thing here has carbide bits at a 45-degree angle. You pull the trigger on this thing and you're done. It's that fast. I mean, it's sweet. It does a really nice job, and there's no, spending $7 a piece for you know, cutting out your things, you know. And if you get burrs and stuff on there, you know, that's where you want to use your flat sander. But this thing for prepping is just a sweetheart. They sell from $40 to $240. So do your shopping. Their average price is about $60 to $80. Buy them like that all day long. But if you do some shopping, you can get it down to 40 bucks. And these little tips in here, or these little blades, flip around 3 different times. So you got 3 different edges that you can use for cutting. When it gets dull, you flip it over. Do it again until it gets dull again, and flip it over. And they sell those blades on Amazon and eBay as well, so they're replaceable. This is adjustable too. You can there's a set screw in the side of this thing. Loosen that up, and then this thing just unscrews, and so you can adjust the height in and out. But yeah, isn't that sweet? I've never seen one before. Boy, I tell you what, sure saves a lot of money. And time, too. Alrighty, talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.